install this dishwasher?
Yeah, I think that's an idiot do that because I just wanted to touch that connection.
Lennar, it's a new build, so
Yeah.
that was, it came with it.
Yeah, I think that's an idiot do that because I just wanted to touch that connection and I put my thing, which is good. So I had my surge protector in and it tripped it. So yeah, full short down there. You want to see it? Just look at my phone.
All right, so this dishwasher has been tripping the breaker, stated by the customer, for some time now. Now, this is a new build, so fairly new, and sometimes the dishwasher would work just fine, according to her, and sometimes it would just trip. And lately, it just would not turn back on, so it was totally dead, tripping the breaker. So, as you can see, earlier when I touched or reached under the dishwasher, just be careful. I had an idea, and as a technician, sometimes you do have to immerse yourself into the appliance, but rule of thumb is always rule on the side of safety. So make sure the unit is unplugged before you do any work. I could have had it unplugged and it would have still arrived at this. So that spark, I did not expect that to happen, to be honest, because when a dishwasher is not turned on, you assume there's no power. But I had my gloves on. Yes, they do offer protection, and I wanted to just move the wires just to see what's going on. And of course, you see the sparks. So what's happening here? So I'm going to go over that, but first I'm going to check right now. We are going to check to see if the unit is shorting. So putting my meter on continuity, and I'm grabbing one of the wires that are connected to the dishwasher, which is going to be the line, putting it to the body of the dishwasher, which is ground. So if you get continuity, that means you have a component shorting in the machine. Right now I'm doing that. And I'm also going to check the neutral wire as well. So just verifying. So those are fine. So the problem is the company that I will leave unnamed installed this dishwasher for the customer. Now, whenever you have a power wire, so right here we're cutting wires because the wire was so badly burnt. You do not want to attach a new wire to a burnt piece. You want to make sure you cut back, which I ended up doing until I got good wires to able to get a good clean connection. So you always want to strip back until all the corrosion is missing. Now the corrosion is there because the dishwasher was wired incorrectly or installed incorrectly. So whenever you have a plug, and I will show this and I might include an additional video, but right now we have our meter set to volts AC, and we have our lead, one of the lead, inserted into the line and the other on ground. That gives you 120 volts. Now, that tells you that's the line voltage. The other one is neutral. So now you take your plug, set your meter to continuity, and we're going to take that plug on the right, set my meter on it, and go under the dishwasher. And when we get line, we should get a beep. that is line. Now, the black wire on the dishwasher will connect to that. They had it opposite. Polarity in the dishwasher basically means that you need to connect white to white and black to black. Components, for example, the drain pump sometimes will need to be connected that way. So you want to make sure that everything is routed the way it is designed to be routed. I'm not a big fan of those plugs that are all black, because if you don't know, you will just assume that any wire should be connected to any wire, and that's not correct. So you need to first verify that you have a line before you connect them. So if you're going to install your dishwasher, buy the more expensive cord. It does cost a little more, but it will show you which one is line, which is usually the black wire, and white would be the neutral, and of course green is ground. Now you can see we're doing our connection. We're putting on new wire nuts, making sure our connection is nice and secured. And then we're actually using electrical tape as a second barrier to secure all our connections. So what this does, it just gives you another layer of protection in the event the nut could fall off, whatever it might be. So we just make sure that everything is fully secured. So we are routing our neutral through the hole, and we're going to be connecting it to the wire nut. The previous wires on the cord were soldered, giving it a much more rigid bite, if you may say. I cut that end off and connect them to nice soft copper, and I was able to get the wire nut on nicely. Now we're going to be doing a wrap, again, electrical tape. I do it on both of them. Just remember, neutral, the white wire, is a power carrying wire. So it does take the power back to the source. So make sure you secure that as well. Now keep in mind as well, most dishwashers, most of the better ones, will be secured with plastic legs. This unit had metal legs. Take a look at that as well. That should not happen. So even the cord restraint was not properly installed. The wire was not being secured. So that, if that was actually secured, it would have actually mitigated some of the spark and probably would have prevented some of it. The issue actually was still wired incorrectly, which caused more of the issue. Nice and secured. That's how it's supposed to be, or should have been. Now we're going to be putting on the cover. In fact, I didn't show this part or the other part, but I actually covered the interior of that cover with electrical tape. Just because you can see the holes, or at least one of the holes that were left from the arc. So I figured just in case, and I went ahead and covered it. 1/4 inch screw, and that's done. All right, a little quick cleanup here. Get all the clippings and whatnot out of the way. All right, guys, we're coming to the end of the video, and we're going to be plugging in and checking the unit. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of the video.
That's a promising sound.
Absolutely.
It's on at least. It hasn't been on in a month.
Without any sparks or burning or...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's promising.
I tell you.